Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Read and Write with Natasha. Today we have Douglas Schmidt, who's a speaker and the author of the book The Power of Self Leadership: The Path to Unleash Your Talents, Strengths, and Superpowers. So, the power of self leadership provides tools and mindset shifts that needed to thrive. It's not a book, it's not only a book, it's a roadmap to becoming the best version of yourself. All right. So, Doc, thank you for joining me today. I'm looking forward to talk about your book and your ideas. So, what is self leadership?
Basically, self-leadership, there's a couple of different parameters of self-leadership. First of all, understanding yourself, understanding your
Okay.
passions, your motivations, your emotions. That's one thing. The second thing is understand what your talents, strengths, and superpowers.
Okay.
And basically, the premise of the book is if I can't lead myself, if I can't manage my emotions, if I don't understand my talents, strengths, and superpowers, if if I can't develop, I call smart habits, I can't expect anybody else to. So self leadership, it's not a selfish thing. It just starts with me. I need to start with me before I'm looking to change anybody else or lead or manage anybody else. So that's basically the premise of the book. It starts with me. And I break it down into reframe your journey into you're the hero in your journey. What are your talents, strengths, superpowers? What obstacles are in your way? How are you going to overcome them? Who your role models? Who your mentors? How are you managing your emotions? How are you managing situations um, that might be contentious or not necessarily in your favor? So that's basically the premise of my.
And why did you decide to write the book?
Well, there's a couple different things. I decided to write the book for a variety of reasons. I was very fortunate to have really great role models that I could role model self leadership from. That's one reason. Number two, I'm a reader.
Okay.
So I read a lot of subject matter experts on communication, networking, alliances, self discovery, leadership books. And I looked at my own journey, the lessons I learned from my own journey, both the mistakes I made and the successes I made. And one of the reasons I wrote the book is I felt no one was listening to me. I was kind of like extraneous. I'd be intuitive and don't you get it? So I wrote the book so it's out of my head and I can
Okay.
provide a framework for people. Um, and it made it better understand and communicate rather than something coming out of my head. Well, here's a framework. Here's a book. Here's a tangible asset. You can start becoming a self leader and understanding what your talents, strengths, and superpowers are.
So, did people start listening to you now after you wrote the book?
We'll see because I just got my proof. The editing's fun too.
Okay.
That's another learning experience. I just got I just got the proof, so I have about 50 people I'm going to send the book to and get their
Okay.
feedback and their suggestions and comments. And also, too, I just signed up to have a weekly TV show. So we'll see. We'll see
Ah,
what people.
congrats. So,
We'll
the
see what
TV
people
show.
think. So far, I've gotten positive feedback. But the next
Oh,
step is take that feedback and make it so people can digest it and start their own journey.
and so you said the TV show, you got a TV show?
What happened is a good friend of mine has a weekly TV show on the internet.
Okay.
And so, and it's interesting too. I'm reluctant. I'm actually camera shy, believe it or not.
Okay.
Although I'm an extrovert. So I was interviewing 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday morning. And so we're done the interview, and he goes, "Okay, so when are you going to start your show?" I mean, "What do you mean?" "Yeah, your show." I mean, "No." He goes, "Well, when are you going to start your show?" Then he brought in the producer in of this,
Oh, wow.
and he goes, "Okay, when are you going to start your show?" So it's fortunate in that one of the things I have with self leadership is that even though I was reluctant, I didn't want to do it. I have great role models and friends say, "Hey, look, this is your next step here in your personal, professional growth." So I'm going to start a
Oh,
TV
wow.
show. Looks like in April.
Wow. What are you going to talk about? Like, are you going to interview guests or what's the format of
Yeah,
the
I
TV?
have. Well, it's an interview. It'll be half-hour interview, just like this format here. I have a lot of different people. I have a Colonel of the United States Marine Corps who's in history books for leadership,
Okay.
great leader. Not I said so. History says so. My friend's a great drummer. He's worked with. He was
Oh,
Stevie
wow.
Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, Philip Bailey, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
How
So
did you meet this friend?
yes, he's a great drummer.
Okay.
And also about a growth and grit mindset. That's one of the
Okay.
chapters of my book is that
Uh,
how do you develop the habits so you're developing a growth and grit mindset. We're going to get into his head a little bit. I have another friend of mine who's an Army Ranger, professional triathlete, and a trainer, a triathlete trainer, and I worked out with him.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
actually, he worked me out. His name's Todd Parker, so he's going to do a segment. I have another corporate executive who's been an executive leader all over the world. He's going to talk about how you have social capital and social intelligence to survive whatever environment you're in. So I have
Hmm.
different people already lined up. So
Oh, fun.
it's
Maybe
it's exciting, but it's also anxiety producing too. But as my friend said, hey, start swimming. You're in the pool. Start. Don't,
that's fun. I
yeah.
mean, maybe you can invite me too someday.
Yes. Yes.
So all right. So you mentioned a lot about habits,
Right.
and I read a lot of book about habits, like Atomic Habits
Right.
and other, and I believe really it's like it's those series of small habits that
Yes.
determine your success. So I want to hear your opinion about habits, how you develop them. If you can tell us a bit more about habits.
Well, here's the thing about habits. It's really interesting because we all have habits, but I wanted to change some habits. One of the things I learned from habits I read a book called Learning How to Learn by Barbara Oakley. She explained
Sorry,
the,
what's the book?
yeah, Learning How to Learn by Barbara Oakley.
Okay, learning
She
how to
flunked
learn.
math
Okay.
in high school. She has a PhD in engineering.
Oh wow. Okay.
And she worked with a neuroscientist, Terry Sinelsky out of Princeton,
Okay.
and they studied the neuroscience of learning. Yeah, actually,
Okay.
they'll actually show you a brain sign in your brain when you learn how it changes.
Okay.
And one of the discoveries they found was that our brains are wired to procrastinate
Oh,
for,
interesting. Yeah.
for a variety of reasons. Because when we're learning it basically um, learning is a challenge, or anything we don't want to do that's boring, we don't want to do. There's a part of our brain that lights up. It's called the insular cortex. It lights up and goes, "I don't like this.
Okay.
I don't want to clean my room. I don't want to study. I don't. I don't want to do this. I don't want to write a book." All this, so it lights up. It's an uncomfortable feeling in our brain. So we know that
Okay.
there's a science to that. So we understand the science that it's not necessarily a character trait. It's the way we're wired. So what they found too was they use a technique called the Pomodoro technique. And what
Yeah.
they found was the initial inertia was, I don't want to do it, but once you start doing the activity, those uncomfortable feelings start to dissipate.
Correct. Yeah.
So it overcomes that uncomfortable feeling. And then what happens was when we start developing these habits, and I'll give you an example now. When I was writing a book, I would go to the library and I'd be in cubicles where I didn't have a lot of external distractions.
Mm.
I didn't have TV. I didn't have my cell phones. Anything. It was just writing and a computer and a tablet. The things with habits is we can understand how to start a framework so we can start to call them smart habits. And then once you start doing these habits, that initial resistance starts to dissipate because this is a habit. I do this every day. Like, for example, I get up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get a cup of coffee, get my workout clothes, and go work out. So
You work
that's
out every single day?
every day at 5 o'clock.
Wow.
But I
So
don't think, yeah, go ahead.
for me is this mindset is how did you develop this mindset? Because for many people telling them the idea of waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, it's daunting, but it takes a certain mindset to do this. So how did you develop this mindset?
Well, first of all, it's not for everybody has to develop their own mindset to do it. Well, whatever. One thing is, my doctor said, "Hey, I need to lose some weight." So I had to figure that
Okay.
out. How to
Okay.
lose some weight. I'm an early person. I generally get up.
Okay. What time do you go to bed?
I go to bed around 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm not a late person, so I get to bed
Okay.
early too because I need enough sleep.
Okay.
So the way I developed is I ride a bike. I like bike riding. That's a physical activity. It's not painful. I enjoy doing it. So one of the things with habits I like riding a bike. So every morning I'd get up, have a cup of coffee, put my bike on my car, and go to this trail and ride the bike for an hour every morning. So what happens was it just became habitual. I'm not spending a lot of conscious energy to go, let me figure this out. It's just a habit that I developed. And the
Okay.
biggest question for me was when I wake up, even if I don't feel like doing it, putting on my workout clothes. It's
Mm.
that little tiny decision that starts developing the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked a lot about, like you said, developing a habit, and So what happens with some people is they start like the new they say to themselves, okay, I'm gonna work out. The beginning of the year you go to the gym, and the gym is packed, right, in
Yeah,
January. Then
that's correct.
in March, in April, it's empty because people drop off the habit. And I'm guilty of that. I mean, many times I said I'm gonna do this,
And
and I
Natasha, I
do
think
it
you
for a
froze.
few weeks, and then I don't follow through. So what's happening here?
Could you repeat that? I think you froze a little bit there.
Sorry, I'm just saying that I also fall into the trap of sometimes I want to develop a habit. I do it for like 2 weeks and then I forget about I drop it off. So and I never follow through. What's going wrong here?
I would do a couple different things. There's a couple different things as far as habits. There's external barriers. So I'd write down the external barriers. Like, so working out, it could be the weather or whatever. So I'd write those barriers down. Also, a lot of times too, I know the biggest challenge for me is, what are the internal barriers? What am I saying to myself?
Mm,
And what are those thoughts and emotions that I'm saying? What are my thoughts? What's going on? And here's another thing too. A lot of times too, with developing habits, we use now versus later thinking. It's many times it's difficult when we're developing these habits that we're not sure what the end goal will be. We're not
mm,
sure what the end result's going to be.
yeah.
So that's that's part of the challenge too. Is that even though I'm not sure, I still need to develop these habits and develop momentum. And number two, a couple things that are working out. You might not like the activity. There's some activities I don't want to do. So I would say for exercise, I would say for activities you enjoy doing. Like if
Okay.
you're trying to do like 500-pound bench presses, that's not fun. So what
Okay.
activities I enjoy that are related to my habits?
Mm, okay. So, any other techniques you advise or you suggest for us to stick to habits? For example, like there is the techniques of habit stacking, right?
Right.
So and then there's like, do you have specific techniques like, or other people like they prepare their workout clothes the night before, or
Right,
stuff like that?
right.
Yeah.
I have my stuff hanging all ready to go. My
Okay.
stuff's ready to go. Here's another thing too. I was talking to a friend of mine, Mark, about this. I try and make my decisions binary.
Okay.
Do
Which
I want to
means
work out or not work out? Do I want to put on these clothes or not put on these clothes? Do I want to wake up? Do I not want to wake up? I don't want to spend a lot of mental energy um, making this a complicated decision. That's one thing. I
mm,
try and make them binary. Like, for
okay.
example, writing this book, there are days I didn't feel like writing a book, but once I got into the cubicle at the library, this is my workspace. So I'm here to write this book, and that
I
sort
see.
of changed my mental state. And here's another thing too. I like, we talk about atomic habits with Clear, the 2-minute rule. If I can do it in
Mm,
2 minutes, that's okay. Because a lot of times if I can do it in 2 minutes, that develops momentum to do another 2 minutes.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's a question of momentum and really, you say stacking.
Yeah.
Develop habits that are related to each other.
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of the books that kind of made a huge buzz about this is Atomic Habits by
Right,
James Clear,
right.
and but I believe there are other books before that. And I'm
Yes.
curious, since you're a writer and a reader, what kind of books do you recommend besides your own book? You recommend for people who want to stick with habits?
One of the books that I think one of the books that really changed my life was Learning How to Learn by Oakley, Oakley.
Okay. Okay.
Because what I learned from these great leaders, they're all learners. Learning was their superpower. Every
Uh,
leader I've been around, everyone's a learner. Whether it's a drummer in the Marines, leadership there, or writers, everyone's a learner. So that's a book I recommend, because what that does is understanding that learning is a process. It's not an event. So learning is important. So, for example, when I first started writing this book, I used this particular platform. Well, it was the wrong platform. I had to change the platform, but I learned from that.
okay.
So it's that learning process that um, is important to understand, that learning takes time. It takes patience. I'm
Okay.
not going to be a great writer overnight. I'm not going to be in great shape overnight. But it's that process. And I would say understanding what my goals are and being on that journey.
Hmm.
And times the journey, it's going to be frustrating.
Yeah.
As a writer, you got to go. I'm stuck.
I'll
I
take a
can't write
walk.
anymore. I need to
Yeah.
walk away. I need a
Yeah.
few days because I'm just,
Tapped. Yeah.
yeah, I'm tapped and I need to walk away. And then if you look at the science of that, there's what's called diffuse learning. Our brains are making unconscious connections unconsciously. So that's one thing too. Another thing too is role models. Who am I hanging out with? Who am I associating? Am I going to
That's
the bar?
true.
Yeah. Am I going to the gym? One of the things at the gym is sometimes the hardest thing for people to do is just go to the gym. That's a big step for some people. So get back to the little decisions, and if I can just do a little bit, just start with a little bit, that can help me develop.
Hmm. So let's go learning how to learn. That's yeah. I'm gonna check it out. So it's interesting what you said that great leaders are learners.
Yes.
And because I've never heard that, like I heard great leaders are like writers, or great readers are big readers, or great leaders are, they take care of their physical activity or they're organized or whatever. But focusing on learning, I think that's for me first time I hear it says in this way. And can you give an example of a great leader who's also a great learner?
Well, a general. I'll give you an example. I'll give you two examples. General James Mattis, United States Marine Corps, former Secretary of Defense.
Okay.
His personal library is 6,000 books.
More than this?
Yeah, he has a lot of
Person,
books. And then the first question,
6,000 books? Wow.
6,000 books. The first
Okay.
question, now this guy's, to me, he's in history books for a reason. He was my friend's mentor. My friend's a colonel
Okay.
in the Marine Corps. The first question Mattis asked my friend, when my friend is Colonel Marine Corps, and Mattis, what books are you reading?
Me?
No, I'm saying General Mattis asked my friend who's Colonel Marine Corps, what books are you reading? What are you learning?
Is that what he asks you every time he sees you?
No, well, I'll give you an example. My friend was Colonel Marine Corps. He's in history books. When he came back from Afghanistan, I was in his office. He gave me books to read. He gave me homework.
Oh, wow.
So he
So,
gave me, yeah.
yeah. Sorry. How did you meet all of these fascinating people that you keep
Well,
mentioning?
my superpower, I have two superpowers. I'm a connector and I'm a learner. So I met my,
You're an actor?
no, I'm a connector.
Connector. Ah, sorry.
I'm a
Yeah.
connector. I have a high social intelligence. I'm a connector and I'm a learner. So I figured out the way I met them. My one friend got deployed to Afghanistan in 2010, and I did some really nice things for him and his family when he got deployed. And 3 months later, he sent me a thank you letter from Afghanistan, thanking me for helping his family out and taking care of his
Okay.
family. I read the letter. I said, he's a world-class leader. I just knew it. There's one line in the letter, I knew it, that told me this guy's a world-class leader. So when he came back to Afghanistan, when he was I was in his office. I'll never forget this. He opened up this book, The Power of Communication by Helio Fred Garcia. It was dog-eared, had writing all over it. So I put it in real quick. This guy is a learner because he reads. And then he gave me books. He gave me books to read. So
Hmm.
that's how I learned. And then he introduced me to other people that were all learners and also in history books or had great leadership characteristics. And I just started studying them. They're all learners. My friend's a great drummer. Worked with Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross. He learned all the different types of music he had learned how to play to work with these various artists.
Hmm.
So he's always learning too.
Hmm.
The
Interesting.
learning's to me, learning's the superpower. And I call it's important for us. This is one of my philosophies though. If you're a learner, you're in the game. You're in the game. Doesn't mean you win, but you're in the game and you get to hang out with the smart kids because you're a
Hmm.
learner. If you're not learning, the smart kids are gonna be I don't know. So learning is a superpower and we all can do it. We can, even if we're
Yeah.
broke, we can go to the library for free.
How do you encourage people to be learner? Because from my, let's say, limited experience in life compared to yours, is some people don't want to learn. Like some people don't want to read books. They get stuck into this. Oh, I don't need to. They live day to day, and the idea of picking up like a nonfiction book or a
Right.
self-help book is like very. I mean, from maybe I'm hanging out with the wrong people, but from like very few people I know who read uh, as many, like, let's say, self-help books that I read, or
Right.
nonfiction
Right.
books. And how do you convince people to do that?
Well, it depends on them. It's a choice. But here's the thing: so you don't have to read books. You could be a mechanic, an auto mechanic. You can go to classes. So it doesn't have to be books. It could be videos. Could be taking classes. There's different modalities of learning. I would say this: it depends on what you want to do. If you're going to become a professional, I don't care if you're an auto mechanic, a lawyer, bus driver, whatever. To get at the top of you have to learn it. And if you don't, you're not going to hang out. Like here, I'll give you an example. My friends work with Stevie Wonder. He's a great drummer. He's a great drummer. If he wasn't a learner that didn't understand the music, Stevie Wonder's not going to hire you. They're just not. Diana Ross is not going to hire you because you don't. They call it the music, but they don't have the chops.
Yeah. So by learning, is it book learning, or is it like define learning?
Learning is, it doesn't have to be books. Now, for me, my personal premises are books and online courses and classes. Somebody else might be, they could be an auto mechanic is actually working on cars, what's called procedural learning or training. So learning is increasing your capabilities and skills for whatever you're doing, whatever activity you're doing. Could be being a parent. What am I learning? How am I become a better parent? I'm a school teacher. How to become a better school teacher? So I would say this: if you're learning, and I taught, you're in the game. You're in the game. You know, writing. There's always something to learn with writing. So if you're a learner, you can talk to other authors and go, I understand what you're talking about. But if not learning and I can't relate to what you're saying, that's a hard relationship to sustain. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I want to pivot a bit and talk about your publishing journey. So your book is coming out next month in March.
I just got the proof.
Okay.
So I had 3 revisions.
Okay.
So I have to do I think I didn't realize how challenging editing is. So I think this will be the last edit. Oh,
So
yeah.
did you?
Think, I missed this.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully in a couple of weeks.
So did you self-publish or hybrid publisher? How did the journey go?
Well, what I did is I made a decision to write the book, and then I got to the point where I wasn't stuck, but I knew I needed a coach. I needed assistance.
Okay.
I could have done it myself, but I didn't really feel comfortable doing that.
Okay.
So I met with a self-publishing coach, a guy named Steve Harrison.
Okay.
So he helped work with Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Men Are From Mars, Women for Venus.
Okay.
So I hired him to help navigate this whole journey in self-publishing. So for me, it was worthwhile, but I hired a coach to do it.
Okay. So the coach helped you in terms of the editing or in terms of the process?
The whole process, because it's a journey. It's a journey. They help me with proofreading, editing, graphic design, sales strategies. They're helping me now navigate Amazon. So it was really a soup to nuts thing. And again, for me, it was well worth it to do it.
Yeah. So so they took care of the design of the publishing, putting it up on KDP and all of that.
Right. They gave me, my designer gave me 4 different book covers.
Okay.
And then I asked people, friends of mine, which book cover do you like the best?
Yeah.
And so the one she designed, I didn't necessarily like it the best, but my audience said we like this the best.
So you listened to
I let my audience, okay, got it. And then I finally got a proof copy, and I've gotten really good feedback.
So, okay. In terms of how you apply the habits to writing habits.
Right.
So if, for writers who are watching, listening to this, they come to you, it's like, I want to develop a writing habit. What would you tell them?
I would say, what are your goals? Why do you
Let's say I want to finish a book in less than 6 months, the first draft at least.
I would say this. I would say find a place that you feel comfortable writing in, that there's not a lot of distractions, that you can be the most productive in. That'd be number one. I would say I spend about 2 hours a day writing the book, and then after about 2 hours, I'm pretty much I'm spent. Not spent, but I did as much as I could, and I just knew mentally I just need to take a break from it. I need to do something else.
Okay.
And number three is have role models and mentors. Get some feedback. Hey, what do you think of this? Makes sense. I think that's important. Also, too, there's some great. Now, people don't like this. Some great tools. I'd recommend. I use ChatGPT to get some
Mm,
ideas, and I use Grammarly Premium for editing for grammars. It's not a graphic designer. I don't know all the syntax and all the where this comma should be as far as writing. So I use the Grammarly Premium to edit the document and
mm,
improve what my writing was.
mm. Yeah, yeah. Oh wow. Okay. So if what are your like last thoughts or comments for anyone who wants to become a learner for life?
The first, I would get this book, Learning How to Learn by Oakley,
Okay.
OAKLE. I'd get that book. That changed my life because here I am. I'm my friends they're great leaders. They're all learners. So I had to scale very quickly to understand what they were doing. And then what I did is understood the science of what they're doing too.
Mm,
So that became, they didn't know that necessarily. So that's what
that's
I
true.
brought in. I said, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
here's a science of that. They're like,
yeah,
what? Yeah, here's a science of that. So that's what I brought into the equation. So
yeah.
I'd say Learning How to Learn by Oakley, that book just changed my life. And it's on book form, and also it's on Coursera.org. It's a free course.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. And for for listeners or viewers, how can they reach you? In your website, how can they get your book?
Yeah, you can reach me on my site at Douglas lschmidt.com, or you can send me an email at dougschmidt, SCHMIDT 1955 at gmail.com. I'm glad to
All
help
right.
anybody that's on this journey.
Great. I mean, it's I'm definitely gonna check out the book you recommended and also your book. And best of luck with your the publication that's coming soon. And if there is anything I can help, I'm happy to help. And for anyone who's listening or watching, thank you for joining us for another episode of Read and Write with Natasha. And until we meet again, and thank you, Doc.